In that case, Billy, I'm afraid I'm going to have to get back to the elephant in the room. Could you give me an update on how the injury situation is as
Very similar, very similar. We've just got to go on with it. I mean, I could come out with the same stuff every week. What's the point? What's the point? We are where we are. We've just got to go on with it, and we need the players to be better than what they were last week. They know that they didn't do the basics right, made the game tough, but we're through, and that was the main thing. So, but to beat Dundee, we need a whole lot better.
There had been a suggestion that there was an issue with Billy Mackay. Can you clarify the situation there?
It's touch and go. We'll give him to the very last minute. He come off with a slight calf strain in the Stirling game, so it's another one we're just monitoring. But he's been doing a bit, so we'll wait and see how he is.
Dundee at home. I mean, it's sort of in that 6-pointer category, really, isn't it?
It's not a be all and end all, but it's probably one of our most crucial games so far this season, and that's where we are. So we've got to make sure we're at it. We do the basics better than what we did, and I mean just like move the ball quicker, better movement to give the boys on the ball options. I've watched it and I thought, and I've spoken to a few of them, so they know for the first time that I felt as if that wasn't us. I've not said that much, even though we've been defeated in games. So I need them to be a whole lot better, as I said, and if we are, I'll be quite happy.
Is there any sense of unwillingly, involuntarily having to overload the players that you've got, in as much as you need them every time?
I've thought about everything like that. It's hard on the players that are getting out there and churning it out week in, week out, but we've shown we're competitive, and that's what we have to do, and we're showing we're still a good team. So it's such a big game. I'm really looking forward to it. We've beaten Dundee already this season. We know it's going to be tough, but we go again, because if we put on a performance that I know my team's capable of, then we've every chance of winning the game.
That very tight spread in the division is beginning to open up just a little bit. That would presumably make a win, if possible, against a team that's 6 points ahead of you, or 5 points ahead of you.
I know where you're going, and you're quite right to ask. We know that. We know that there's a few teams with a few points gap on us, but a few weeks ago those teams were behind us when we put together the good run. So you just need a good run of results. It's good if you've got a full squad, but that's not the case. But are we capable of going on a run? Yes. And times like this, and Saturday against Dundee, there's no better time than to start those runs in terms of going and winning the game. And we're at home, we'll take the game to them, we'll see where we go.
That's great, thank you very much.
The Dundee manager recently picked up a Manager of the Month award fairly recently. What have you made of Dundee this season?
Let's hope it's a jinx. We've had it before, haven't we? Where they get Manager of the Month or Player of the Month, and they go out and miss a penalty or something like that, or don't play well and the manager gets his first defeat, so we're hoping for that. But he's got the Manager of the Month because he's a good manager, and he's shown that, because when we beat them, Dundee weren't firing on all cylinders, and that's why you just get the head down, you go again, and you know you've got a team, and Gary knew that he had a team that were capable of turning it, and that's what he's done over the last couple of months. So we're going to do the same and get the heads down and just go on with it.
Speaking obviously to Cam earlier on, he obviously his 2 goals were crucial in that game. Is that something also you're hoping for this time?
I would love it. I would love it. Somebody has to stand up to play. I felt a bit like that. It's the first time I've been really annoyed. You're always annoyed because you get beaten, but you can get beaten when you're a bit unlucky and you're being competitive. And Saturday we won the game, and I was annoyed because we could have made that a whole lot easier, and I don't think the players did their jobs properly. But they know that, and they set good standards themselves, and I want them to set their own standards, and that's why I was annoyed. But we know that we have to be a hell of a lot better than when we play Dundee, because Dundee will take advantage of us if we play like the way we did Saturday. But we won't, I'm sure we won't.
I was just wanting to ask, obviously December 1st now, a month away from the January transfer window. Is there anything in the fire for that window? Can you consider the injury situation, or even maybe is it a case of maybe waiting further into the window to see what comes available?
You're always keeping your eyes open, and it's old cliches, finger in the pulse, where you look to see if there's any players available that will suit us, that will enhance the squad. and because we have got long-term injuries, well, then we are looking, but it is difficult. So we're not going to just bring somebody in just for the sake of it. We're going to make sure that it's beneficial to the club, and it's not just a quick fix. I know we've only signed Ryan till the window, but Ryan has got a chance to win a deal to the end of the season, and he's done well so far. He's catching up fitness-wise. He's been excellent, I've got to say. So he's been a real addition, even though it's just short term for this moment in time.
And as well, round about that time, am I right in saying a few players are due to come back round about the January? Is it 3 or 4?
Yeah, but it could be towards the end of January as well. So
okay.
Yeah, this is why, in this time right now, we need to dig in. We need to make sure we pick up points to just stay with them, because when I get my players back that are out, not saying they're going to be automatic starters, but they're going to bring healthy competition for places. And when I get that, I've got a squad that can really challenge in this championship.
Kind of almost like new signings in themselves in a way.
That's what I'm hoping for come the time. You're hoping for a real boost, but you're hoping to get that boost when you've got a couple of results in the backet and you're not waiting for these players to try and chase. And that's where we are.
Good stuff, thanks for that.
Cheers, Leo.
Obviously it's a result you'd expect to win, but is it good to get that sort of winning mentality back on side now if the boys go into the Dundee game?
Aye, any win's good. I know it didn't come about in the right circumstances, and there was nobody more upset than me, because I went home that night and I was like, my head was burst with it all, to be honest with you, because I just thought there was so much wrong with the performance. But I think the cup is all about getting through, and that's why I'm saying we need to make sure we set those standards. I always talk like basics, standards. They're key words in the game, Stevie, and if we get that, we'll be okay. But when we don't get that, you can see how we struggled. But I knew it would be a tough game, because Stirling, I don't care what, I said it before, whatever league you're playing in, if you're winning momentum, you feel as if you can beat anybody. And they gave us a right game, and it was no surprise to me, but I wish my players had been more ready for it.
And obviously, down the bench coming a couple of weeks ago, Dan Mackay was great to see him back last week. Does that lighten the load on the players and yourself and gives you a wee bit more selection headaches? Yeah,
I've just said it, healthy competition for places. That's all I've said when these boys have gone out, because I know the boys that have come in are good enough. But sometimes it makes you doubt. I think it's made a few of the players that have come in doubt that, can we win with this team? Yeah, we can. I've always believed that. They've got to believe it's got to come from within. And that's what I've thought on a few occasions. But we've been competitive, as I said. We've been unlucky a couple of games that we should have picked up more points. But every team can say that. But while we're down in numbers just now, we have to dig in and make sure we're there when we get these players back in January, that we can have a right run. And listen, it's not to say we can't have a run just now either.
I know, agreed. And lastly, Ryan Barrett obviously mentioned him there in the previous question, but obviously the carrot's there for him to win a longer deal. But what does he bring to the team? And can you tell me a bit more his background, because obviously he came in later than last week? Well,
he's Geordie, isn't he? So if you look at Carson, you know the way they are. The Geordies are tenacious, lively. He's a good lad. He's natural right back in terms of looks really decent on the ball. You can see he's quite quick. He's athletic. He'll get forward. But he's not 100% just now, so we're building him up. He's chasing. By the way, he's done well. He's done a lot better than what I thought he would fitness-wise. No problem whatsoever, and he's getting there quicker than what I thought. So great. And you're right. It's great to have Ryan Barrett in the door. It's great to have Danny Devine back. It's great to have Dan Mackay back. And I'm hoping another few come back anytime soon in the next couple of weeks.
And then lastly, remember Ocean Samuel was a wee bit of setback. Anything you can elaborate on that, or is it just wait and see?
It was, yeah, he had a setback, but it's we know where we are now. We knew where we were anyway. He did the warm up at Morton, and something didn't feel right, and that was a big blow to us as well. So we've assessed him, we've sent him for scans, and we know where we are in terms of he had a wee setback. So. We know where we are with Austin, and it's not going to be a couple of weeks, put it that way.
Right. Good luck, Saturday. Cheers.
Cheers, Stevie.
Hi Billy, how are you doing?
Right.
You were saying about the performance at the weekend. Obviously it was good to get the result, good to get the win, but the performance was disappointing and left you feeling quite quite angry. I suppose what you've been saying to the players and probably what you've been implementing in training all week is just a case of going back to the basics.
Yeah, the players know what to get from me. I'm not going to skip round the edges. They knew I wasn't happy, but I said to them, I just sat, I was calm after the game, I didn't go shouting, I just said, you know you're better than that, surely you look at yourselves, and the boys have, and this week been really good again, upbeat, bright, got these players back. I was just talking to Stevie about, and the training's been great, so thoroughly looking forward to the game. Last week's patched. I've seen teams in cup competition play worse than that and get through, and that's, I mean, we were average and we got through, and that's the main thing in the cup. I don't care now, that's gone, so we move on.
Absolutely, and you've got Dundee this weekend. You've already mentioned it, how big a game it is, but I suppose a win is very important just to maintain that close gap on the promotion pack, who are obviously desperate to get up as well. It's just to make sure you don't fall too far behind. For
all sorts of reasons. For that which I've just spoken about, for gaining that which we are capable of, that momentum, that winning streak we could go on. That would be like a couple of games in the bounce where we've won. That's the way you look at it. You've got to build, haven't you? You can't just go, right, we're definitely winning 6 in the bounce. You've got to build that confidence, momentum, just that winning mentality, and that's what we're hoping to get back again. So it is a crucial game. I'm not playing it down. We know where we are, and I'm looking forward to the Dundee game. It's always a wee edge when you get to the bigger teams in the Championship. No disrespect to anybody else, going against one another with a lot to play for.
And a win, of course, would bring you just 2 points within Dundee as well, which just goes to show how tight the league is, as we always say every year, how tight this Championship is. Yeah,
I've said it. It's brutal in a good way, because you can find yourself looking over your shoulder after a couple of weeks or a couple of defeats, or you can find yourself thinking, right, we're right in this Championship chase, and that's where I want to be, and I know this is a crucial time of the season with where we are, so it's a big game, and a win would mean a lot to us. I think just in terms of confidence, but also that winning mentality that we have got, and we can certainly, we're one of the teams in the Championship that can go on a run, and I'm hoping it starts tomorrow in the league. I know we've had the cup win last week, but I'd like to start it in the league on Saturday, not tomorrow.
And just finally from me on transfers, you've mentioned before, and you mentioned it here about transfers, that you were potentially looking at the possibility of bringing in some out-of-contract players to just, bolster the depleted numbers that you have through injuries. Is there any update on that? Is that something you're still looking at?
No, well, we're looking, but it doesn't mean to say we'll be bringing anybody in. We're also looking, coming the January transfer window, to see what we can do. But you know what it's like. We're not going to go out and just splash the cash. We have to pick carefully and make sure we get the right ones in. We feel as if we've got that with Ryan Barrett, but we just can't go willy-nilly and just go and say, oh, we'll take 2-3 bodies in just for the sake of it. Because we know if we can dig in just now and win games or pick up points, we know we've these players, important players coming back. So you're caught in maybe trying to add what you can at the right time and the right numbers, but also try to get to the boys coming back as well. So you don't want to fill your squad too much when you've got these boys coming back. But it is nice, as I touched on earlier, that to have a good, healthy squad to pick from. And I feel as if I'm slowly but surely getting that back with the additions of Devine and Mackay, with Ryan Barrett coming in as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Really good luck.
Yes, sir.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.